Good morning. I am not Troy. Troy is taking a much-deserved little bit of a break. So I'm Becky, and I love coming to OUC and feeling the love and acceptance here. And I'm loving this beautiful weather that's going to be hot. So let's start singing today. Please rise in body and or spirit, and we're going to sing We Give Thanks on page 1010 in the Teal Hymn Book. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ann Radford. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is our guest minister, Reverend Corey Passons. Reverend Corey is the Interfaith Minister for Olympia-based faith community for Interfaith Celebration. He also serves as Director of Interfaith Relations with Interfaith Works. We're also joined today, as you know, by Becky Owen, who is substituting for Troy. You are welcome here just as you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you know and express your identity, and in all the ways you are still becoming the person you are. Here are a few things that you should know about our service this morning. We're streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, up here on the screen, you can see the AI-generated subtitles that are mostly accurate and sometimes quite amusing. And the subtitles are also available on Zoom. And over here we have soft chairs and activities for your hands, so everyone can be comfortable. And we welcome people of all ages in our sanctuary, babies and toddlers, all ages. There's nursery care and a story time down the hall in the classroom wing. Please be where you are most comfortable. And we are grateful for the many hands that helped worship happen this morning. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have a chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Corey. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. And for those of you here, please feel free to stay for coffee and conversation in the Commons. And at 12:30 today, there will be a protest first aid training from 12:30 to 1:30, and all are welcome to attend. And the OUUC choir will be back soon. Rehearsals start again Wednesday, September 3rd at 7. I know all of you are looking forward to that, having our choir back. If you're interested in singing, you can contact Troy, our music director, or talk to one of the choir members. Or just show up on September 3rd at 7, right here. So mark your calendars now for the all-church picnic, Saturday, September 13th at noon at the Rose Garden at Squaxin Park. And if you'd like to help, please contact Reverend Sarah. You could do an activity, you could help set up, you could help clean up. So as you've heard, there are many, many things going on here at OUC, so check out the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the latest information. Now let us open our hearts and minds as we prepare for worship. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. And this morning, we will light our chalice with the words of Ber Kolas Kua, the hearth of the chalice. Come up and light. As we light the chalice, may our souls become its hearth. We join our hearts to the one great flame of bright compassion, beloved community, and fervent justice. May we become lanterns to the world, lighting the way for all.
Our opening words today are from Katie Steinberg. We lay down our burdens. We lay down our burdens, beloved companions. We arrive in this place where all we have to do is breathe. Take 1 or 2 deep breaths with me. We don't have to impress or convince or win over. We don't have to know the words. It's okay, we didn't read the book or pass that class or carry that title or meet that mark. We don't have to be anything but who we are. Here, we rest in essence together and move into this communal rest. We lay down our burdens. We lay down our longing, our craving. We lay down our error, our regret, our sudden disappointment. We lay down our anxiety, our shame, our sheer exhaustion. All of this we lay down together today as we do this. May we be filled instead with presence. May we feel held in the comfort of our community. May we discover new compassion for ourselves and others. May we meet this moment with gentleness and ease and gratitude for this air we breathe together, for these questions we ask together, for the justice we seek together, for the songs we sing together. Amen. Let us come and worship.
All right, we're going to be singing hymn 1015, I Know I Can. So, yeah, please stand. Though days may be dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart, when troubles wait at every turn, I know My family's in my song. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long and destination is near, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. So family, take my hand, and neighbors, sing my song. When hope awaits me at every turn, I know I can go on. Thank you.
Our story for all today is a shortened version of a parable written by Leo Tolstoy, if you ever want to go find the longer version. This is based on, there are many different adaptations of this, but it's called The Three Questions by John Muth. And it's about a boy named Nikolai. And Nikolai had a question of how to be the best person that he could be. And he came up with 3 questions. If he could get these down, he would surely become the person that he wanted to become. And these were his questions. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? Well, Nikolai had 3 friends he was near, and he thought, maybe I'll go ask them. And the first was Heron, who was very reflective and quiet. And Heron said, the best time to do things is when you have planned ahead. Thank you, Heron. He then went to his friend the monkey, who was full of energy, and said, what is the most important one? And the monkey said, the most important one, obviously, is the one who is making you laugh. And Nikolai said, thank you for that, monkey. He then went to the dog and said, what is the right thing to do? And the dog wagged his tail and barked and said, the right thing to do is to play and be loyal with your friends. But Nikolai wasn't satisfied with these answers. There was something missing for him. He wanted to go on a journey to visit Leo, the old turtle who lived in the mountains. And so he set out alone to do so. After an arduous trip to come to Leo, he encountered the old turtle, the sage old turtle, in his garden, slowly digging a row, planting seeds. And Nikolai asked him these 3 questions, thinking, this is it, this is the moment. But Leo just kept digging and digging, when suddenly a storm enveloped them. Thunder, lightning, rain coming down upon them, and they heard off to the side a cry for help. And Nikolai dropped his shovel and ran towards the cry for help, and it was a mama panda caught under a tree, and her baby panda was just off to the side crying and scared. And Nikolai picked up the mama panda. He's really strong. And baby panda went onto Leo's back, and they traveled together to Leo's cottage, and they weathered the cracking storm all that night together with a fire and warm blankets and bandages. In the morning, the panda family left. Nikolai was exhausted, but feeling happy. He and Leo were outside, and Nikolai said, before I go, could you please answer my questions, my 3 questions? And Leo turned to him and said, you have answered the questions yourself. He said, the best time to do things is now, because that's the moment where you can act. When the panda needed your help, you acted in the moment. The most important one is the one you are with. When you were attending to the mama panda through the night, she was the most important one. The right thing to do is to help others. even when it's not easy, even when no one asks you, helping others is the right thing to do. And then Leo concluded all of this by saying, this is why we are here. Well, Nikolai listened carefully, smiled quietly, and turned to repeat his journey back down to his friends, pondering everything that he had heard.
Each Sunday, we join together in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering, together we're able to do more than any of us can do alone. We express our gratitude for the gifts life has given us, the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. If you are new or visiting us for the first time, you are our guest, and we do not expect you to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of our offering, what you share will be most gratefully received. The offering collected here does two things. Half of it helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by our regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity. Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. And a small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolent Fund to support the more urgent needs in our community. Our Share the Plate organization for August is GRUB, Garden Raised Bounty, our neighbor just down the street. And here's what they share about their work.
Good morning, Olympia UU congregation. I'm Carenza Mabwa, the program manager for GRUB's Growing Home Collective. And this program grew out of a series of Black community listening sessions in 2021 on how GRUB could better support the Black community around foodways, food history, cultural, and land. And as an affinity program led by an all-Black advisory group, the programming is by, for, and with the Black community. Participants get to experience the gift of connection and to relax and be fully present in the richness of cultural knowledge and skill sharing. We consider this a wellness antidote to the assimilation, minimization, and erasure that's often experienced living in the dominant culture. And impacts of oppression and white supremacist redlining practices are still present. This is a sacred space that we create where we're normalizing shared lived experience and expertise. Participants are Black members, alumni of GRUB's programs, partner organizations, and various resource networks we're growing locally and regionally. So from foraging wild plants to making herbal medicine and cooking, remembering ancestral foodways, celebrations, we grow food on the farm. Families and elders, individuals get to join in building power and leadership and healing their relationship to the land and food, as well as reclaiming untold contributions that Black folks have made to all of our story. So stories, sometimes we hear Black people say they never knew how much they needed this kind of space until they arrived. Some children who've always been a minority in school look around and say, everyone is Black and they're beautiful. Kiddos get to pick and learn cooking and eat fresh herbs and veggies. And people realize they have skills to share and join us. So how can you help? Some of you attended our Juneteenth celebration. That's our one public celebration for all. And we threw down a soul food feast you don't want to miss next year. Please consider doing outreach or volunteering for it. Donate. Your gifts will go to our workshop costs and honorariums for the advisory group and guest presenters. Thank you.
May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received. Thank you for sharing your gifts in all the ways that you share. This morning, we do what humans have done for all of our existence. We gather in times of worry and anxiety, and we gather in times of joy and celebration. We come into our community bringing all that is on our minds and in our hearts. Let us open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drum beat. It is the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of community. Allow its resonance into your body. I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the air in your body. Sense the earth beneath us. Feel the warmth of connection. And feel the love around you. Anita McIntosh shares that her son Robert Lee McIntosh died unexpectedly and tragically on Friday morning. Anita's other children and extended family are gathering to remember Robert and support each other. Anita asks for our prayers, and I'm sure cards would be welcome. Anita, we send our prayers with our love and care for you and your family as you mourn. May Robert's spirit be at peace. And today, we also send our love and support to Zahid Chaudhry and his family. Zahid is a U.S. military veteran who was captured by ICE at his immigration hearing on Thursday and is being held at the detention center in Tacoma. There is a protest to show support for Zahid in Tacoma at 2 p.m. today. May Zahid and his family know that they are not alone. And to thank you for all who participated in the March for Immigrant Justice last evening, bringing our values and our voices into the public arena. Thank you for showing solidarity for Zahid and all who suffer in this unjust system. For those in person now, I invite you to come forward if there is something that you would like to bring into this community. Place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Let us reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. Please come forward. We will place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. We hold together all that has been shared. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know yourself loved.
As we feel the sharing that's come from each of us and we feel the community of sharing here, I want to welcome us into a time of breath where for a minute we can have shared silence together and just let the wisdom of our bodies teach us what we need to teach, to let go, to relax. Our breath is a teacher in this. So I encourage you to find a seated position that allows for your chest to be open. Maybe try to think about your belly and let your belly draw in a deep breath and then exhale a deep breath, just like our teachers, the little infants, teach us when they're sleeping. Big belly breath. And just allow your breath to calm you, to give you rest, to give you peace, and to give your body a chance to restore. We'll be in shared silence together for a minute, And then I'll conclude by saying thank you. Thank you.
Please remain seated while we sing hymn 1007, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul. Thank you.
Our reading today is from Jan Richardson. It's The Healing That Comes. I know how long you've been waiting for your story to take a different turn, how far you have gone in search of what will mend you and make you whole. I bear no remedy, no cure, no miracle for the easing of your pain. But I know the medicine that lives in a story that has been broken open. I know the healing that comes in ceasing to hide ourselves away with fingers clutched around the fragments we think are none but ours. See how they fit together, these shards we have been carrying, how in their meeting they make a way we could not find alone. And I'll take just a moment of centering before I offer my reflection today. Well, good morning, OUUC. Good to see you. Good morning. Okay, we'll do that again. I'm Corey. You see him. I'm really happy to be here with you all. I am the Interfaith Minister for Community for Interfaith Celebration. We meet on Sunday evenings. Come by and check us out sometime, but not all of you at once, because we can't handle that. But this has been a deep joy of mine. In fact, the first time I was in this space was a funeral for a beloved member who had joined membership at CIC, but also here at OUUC, Barbara Gibson. And so just remembering the special connection that it was one of my first connections in Olympia with this congregation. And as someone who works with Interfaith Works, I know who you are. I get to watch how your community shows up, and I'm here to attest to you that your community shows up. You live out the values that you say you are. You are who you say you are. You are becoming who you're trying to become. And I see that in the community as you show up. And finally, Rev Mary, thank you for the invitation today to be here and just for your friendship and colleagueship in the area. I really value and respect all that you bring to our community. And you all don't know all the ways that she shows up, but she's a blessing in every room she comes into and is a part of the ongoing work of our community. So thank you. So with a congregation like this, you all could start this message the way I'm going to today, which is by just naming where we are. We're in a moment. We're in a moment. There are challenges for us at this time that are unique, some of us to our lives. Some of you maybe have seen them recur formerly with grief. We're watching people be abducted, like Zahid, a prominent member of the Islamic Center of Olympia, at a very standard boilerplate citizenship interview. We're watching BIPOC and LGBTQIA communities experience attack through rhetoric, policy, and enactment at the highest levels of our policymakers. We're seeing executive orders from this administration which are targeting people who are experiencing homelessness in our region. Through Interfaith Works, we're one of the largest social service providers of people experiencing homelessness in the area, specifically to the most vulnerable who are experiencing homelessness. So when we see executive orders that are targeting harm reduction and shelter first, that's who we are. That's what we do. So we're in difficult times right now. One of the outcomes from this rhetoric I've been talking about is a tendency to withdraw from others with whom we might be struggling. This is another way of talking about disconnection. So I want to talk today about an antidote, which is connection. As people on spiritual paths, we ask ourselves, what can heal? What is it that can heal? What can make us humanity, human and non-human? What can make us whole? And oftentimes we look to policy changes, we look to leadership changes, we look to economic changes, environmental changes, and all of those, of course, impact the life of our planet and each other. But change and transformation are not necessarily the same thing. Change is modifying an existing system, incremental adjustments, but sometimes, a lot of times, the system stays largely intact. Transformation, however, is the fundamental reordering of the purpose and method of a system or a life. Maybe you've experienced times of transformation in your life where the whole values and purpose of your life was changed and moved in a new way. So today I want to offer that connection is an antidote to our times. And one of the ways that I want to promote us to consider building connection is through sharing our story and listening to the stories of others. Getting proximate to the stories of other people. And then eventually knowing when it's your turn to step forward and to share your story. A little plug, on November 23rd, Interfaith Works will have its reimagined Thanksgiving called Resetting Our Sacred Table. This year we're basing it around table conversation with stories where we can share and harvest our values and find connection in these times. So look for that. Your congregation is supplying the music for that event. Sharing our stories bridges us towards connection. Connections that heal. And we need to get proximate to the stories of other people to experience it. I wonder, who knows the story of your life? Who knows the story of your life? And how did they come to know that? Who knows that sacred story of yours? How can we listen to people such that we're creating healing? I think of healing listening as listening with compassion. Compassion means literally to suffer with. I think when you listen with compassion, you have to be open to feeling the story of the other person, which can be scary, and sometimes it can be challenging to encounter that. But I think listening with compassion, feeling the story, can bring healing. There's this term that we were kind of kicking around in seminary. We started calling it sacred agnosticism. That's a nice one. That's a very seminary term. But to be agnostic means to say, I don't know. It's just to go like this. There's an emoji like this, right? It's like, I don't know. When you do that with someone's spiritual path, you're saying, I'm not coming toward you with conclusions. I receive you on your sacred path for where you are and how you are coming, how you are developing, who you are. It's a humility. With patience, sticking with it, sticking with the story. It takes a while. It takes a long time, actually, to really tell your story. And it takes a long time to listen to a story with fullness. And finally, listening with love. I think these are attributes of listening that can bring about healing. Today, I want to share two sacred stories from different traditions that I think point toward these qualities of getting proximate to the other, offering compassion, feeling, asking, who are you, instead of saying who you are, and then leading with love and patience. The first story I want to tell you today, and then I'm going to take a break because you all like to do two-part sermons here. So it's great. So we'll do a two-part sermon. The first story I want to talk with you about today and share with you is from the tradition I walk in, the Christian tradition. A tradition let me clarify that. I walk in, I squirm in, I wrestle in. Sometimes I do martial arts with the tradition too. It's been a path that's given me deep blessings in my life and has also offered me one of the most difficult spiritual journeys of my own life to reconcile, to stay here, to not cede the message of what I think the tradition is to others who would wield it in ways that I want to be in that conversation. I'm not going to give up on that conversation. This story is a story of Jesus encountering a person who we learn from the story was living in the tombs of that village, living among the dead. The story tells us that this person was in anguish. They were crying out. Maybe you can think of a time when you've driven through our city and seen a person in anguish. You will see more of this in the coming year. This person, we learn in the story, had sometimes been bound in chains by the people in the village. Maybe it's just to deal with this person. This is going to be called involuntary detention in the coming year. This person would break the chains and continue to moan and yell and cut themselves with stones. When Jesus shows up, the first thing that he does is to ask, "What is your name?" What is your name? If we look at the story closely, we don't have any indication that anyone ever knew the name of this person. We know they put him in chains and he was tormented. The person gives a response. They say, "My name is Legion." And this is where we enter into some of the cultural and spiritual norms of the time that might be different than ours today. When the person says who they are, when they start to tell their story, the story, as it's written, says that demons came out and went into a herd of swine, which then ran towards a cliff's edge and threw themselves into the water. So in that time, and literally in that place, there was a battalion of Roman soldiers, 5,000. And a battalion of 5,000 Roman soldiers has a name. That name is Legion. This is a very compact story, but it makes me wonder, is the story pointing towards a presence work that helped to break open the story of this person? And the story that points towards healing did not happen until there was an effort by someone to get proximate to the story of the other, to ask, "Who are you?" Who knows the story of your life? How do they know that? Our second sacred story today comes from mythologist Michael Meade, or at least Michael Meade is the person who told it the first time I heard it. He names that this has African descent. It's a folk tale. It's a story about connecting, and when we connect with others, how we encounter an actual human with lots of complexity. The story goes that there was a brother and a sister who were walking in a field on a sunny spring day and talking and just going along, when in the distance they saw a person who they came to see was a guide of sorts. This guide called them to follow and walked with them to a cleft in the earth where they descended together, the three of them. The road descended and widened until they reached a village. And then the guide told them to go over to the side, hide behind those bushes, and see what you will see, and then the guide left. The siblings waited, and after a time, a group of people gathered in the village center, and then another person gathered who seemed to be a leader among them, or one who was in the center, a chief perhaps. The story names them as a chief. The chief entered into the center of the people, and the side of the chief that was facing the children was decayed, covered in maggots and hanging flesh. The children were horrified, yet they noticed that the villagers came toward the chief. They brought bandages, salve. They began to pick off the dead skin, the maggots, and to bandage the wounds. And this went on for some time. Until the villagers left, so did the chief, and the children remained hidden. After what seemed like a very long time, the villagers reemerged, and so did the chief, who again this time was facing the children, but this half of them, because we can only see half of each other at one time, right? At best. At this time, the side that was facing the children of the chief was golden. And the people brought oil and rags, and they began to polish this side of the chief until the golden side of the chief was so bright it was difficult to look at. And after this happened for a while, the chief turned and walked away, and so did the villagers. And just then the guide appeared and called forth the children and asked them to follow them back out. And as they walked, they told the guide all that they had seen: the wounded side of the chief, the golden side of the chief, the villagers coming toward them, bandaging, shining. And suddenly they found themselves standing back in the field on the spring day, amazed at all that they had seen. As you reflect on that story in the coming weeks, I invite you to inhabit each of the different characters, each of the different roles and moments of the story, and see what you feel as you move through the different possibilities for you in that story. Today, I am going to model the moment that I talked about earlier when it's your time to pull your ticket to come tell your story. I hope each of you have a chance or make a chance to tell your story, because we need all of our stories. We need to hear from each other. And today I'm going to sing a song about this story. It's a song that I wrote, and so I'm going to model some vulnerability for you all. And I want to tell you that I'm not just singing this song with you and to you today, I'm gifting it to this community. If you would like to use this song at any time, consider it a gift and a blessing from me to you in gratitude for all that you are. And then here is lyrics to the song. The song is based around the story that I just told. But I want to offer us today a chance to sing this story through a spiritual practice that sometimes is called meta prayer. It's kind of like, think about it like when you drop a pebble in the water, concentric circles that go out of this prayer. And so the first ring of this prayer, the first line of this prayer, of the song as we sing it for yourself. Give yourself the recognition that you have gifts, you have skills, you have luster, and you carry wounds. Give that to yourself. You'll notice the next line of the song is a little higher, maybe takes a little more effort. Sing this to those with whom you have affinity or you're in good, warm relationship. Perhaps it's family, good coworkers, this congregation, but you can foster connection with someone that you already have some sense of warmth for. The third line of the song is a little higher. It's going to take a little bit more muscles to sing it. Sing this song for those with whom you feel disconnected, that you feel out of rhythm with. Maybe you even feel antipathy. Maybe you feel hate. Picture this person, this system. And as you sing that third line, offer healing towards them. And then the fourth line, we'll sing together, recognizing all of us are in this journey. Sound good? Okay. So here we go. This is my moment for what it looks like to show up with my story, and I wonder what your moment will look like to show up with your story. I will do a little intro, and I'll sing the first verse, and then after that we'll sing the first verse again, and we'll go through the song. We'll sing together. Here we go.
Golden wounded, golden wounded, golden wounded, golden wounded. Shine and bandage, shine and bandage, shine and bandage, golden wounded. Whole and healing, whole and healing, whole and healing, golden wounded.
Sing the first verse.
Golden wounded, golden wounded, golden wounded, golden wounded.
My hope and prayer for each of you is that you come to a place where you can tell your story and that you can show patience, love, compassion, unknowing to those who bring their story to you. Blessings to this congregation, blessings to each of you. Thank you so much for having me today, and we'll move towards our closing. I'll read the closing words. I have things I'm going to read. The closing words today, oh, these are not closing words, sorry. They're here. The closing words today are from Reverend Sam Trumbore. Go forth in simplicity. Find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the people of all the world. Amen.